Hello and welcome. This is Atul, your instructor. In the last session, we have talked about the data types in Python. We have discussed the numeric data type and string data type. Now, data means information, and we do the information processing and data processing inside the Python. Now, in order to perform some operation on that data, we need operators in Python. So after processing that information, after performing some operations on that data, we'll extract the meaningful information from the available raw data. For that purpose, we need to use some operators. Now the operators are the entities which are going to work on the data that will process the data and can be the meaningful information can be extracted from that data. Now coming back to the operators, there are a variety of operators available in Python. The number one is arithmetic operators, assignment operators, comparison operators, logical operators, identity operators, membership operators, and bitwise operators. So any day-to-day life problem can be solved using such operators. So that's why in computer there is CPU, central processing unit, and inside that there is arithmetic and logical unit. So basically what this unit does, it performs arithmetic and logical operations on the data. So by performing arithmetic and logical operators on or operations on the available raw data, we can extract the meaningful information from the data. So here also we are going to learn these kind of operators in detail. Firstly, we'll talk about the arithmetic operators, and this is the list of arithmetic operators available in Python. Now the very first operator is plus, or it is addition operator, and here is the example how we can use. For example, x is a variable and again y is another variable. The x stores some data and again here y stores some data. So performing addition of these two numbers can give us some meaningful information. So that's why the addition operator works there. Similarly, we have subtraction operator, multiplication operator, and division operator. So these are very common operators that we use in our daily life also. Additionally, there is a modulus operator which can be worked like this: x modulus of y. This is going to find out the remainder in case of the integer division. Well, the division operator will find the quotient of the integer division, but in case of modulus operator, it will find the remainder of integer division. Keep in mind, this modulus operator will not work on the floating point numbers, because in case of floating point numbers, there will be no remainder. In that case, the modulus operator will not work on that. The next operator is exponential operator. So this is basically going to find out the power of a number. For example, I want to calculate the second power of 5, then I'll write 5 double star 2. That is going to find out the power, the second power. Even you can go for 10th power, 100th power, any number of power you can calculate using this operator. The last operator in this group is floor division operator. So this is going to result in integer value after division. So the result will be rounded. For example, if you use the normal division operator like this operator, for example, if you do the same thing with using this floor division operator, in that case you will be getting 2 only, the rounded result, instead of 2.5. So the result of this operator is always integer, but the result of this operator could be float depending on what numbers you are dividing. Okay, if the result is integer, then it could be integer, or otherwise it could be float. So these are the operators in arithmetic operator group. So we'll discuss this thing with the help of some examples in Python shell. So I'll open here a shell in the Python, or I'll type IDLE. That will open the Python shell, and here we'll discuss the arithmetic operators. Yeah, so here we got the Python shell. So here I'm going to write some arithmetic operators, and we'll be discussing the working of those operators. For example, I have two numbers 5 and 2. So I can write the addition operator like 5 plus 2, or otherwise I take two variables, a equals to 5 and b equals to 2, and then I'll perform the addition of these two numbers using arithmetic operator. Now b. So here if you want to print the result, you can print like this. Its result is 7, the 5 plus 2. Similarly, you can do c equals to a minus b, and here also you can print the results. So you will getting 3, that is 5 minus 2, that is 3. So again we are going to use the multiplication operator here. So c equals to a multiplied by b. So this time we are expecting result as 10. So here we go. Now I have c equals to a divided by b. Okay, so now this is going to be a division operator. Now both the numbers are integer, but what happens if we divide these two numbers? We can check here. By printing this c, you will get 2.5 as a floating point number. As this 5 divided by 2 is 2.5, so it is floating point number. So it is not rounded because of these integer values. So that is an interesting thing in case of Python. So data type for this c is automatically assigned as float. Now the next operator that we must discuss, c equals to a modulus b. Okay, so it's an operator for finding the remainder from the integer division. So here if you want to print this, print c, so the result is 1 because the remainder of this integer division is 1. So when 5 is divided by 2, so its quotient is 2 and the remainder is 1, so that's why its answer is 1. Now the next operator that I'll discuss, c equals to a floor division b. So this division operator, when I did this thing, it was returning result 2.5, but when I'll do this floor division, what will be the answer of this? So here if I print this c, then I'll get the clear-cut result as 2 instead of 2.5. So the result is rounded and integer. So the result is always integer and it will discard the floating point term after this thing. So this is floor division operator. So in wherever you need to have a floor division or this rounded result, then you will be using this operator. Otherwise you can go with this operator as well. Now the next and final operator is, for example, I want to find out the power of something. So for example, c equals to a to the power of 2, and here if you print this thing, then you will get the answer. Now a is 5 and its second power, so that means it is 25. So here we go, it is 25. So this is the power operator. Even you can write 5 double star this thing, 2 or 3 third power. In this case is 125. It's a third power of this 5. So this is how your arithmetic operators are going to work or going to perform some operation on this data, and after that it is going to generate some result. Now you will ask me, if this is the arithmetic operators and these are some variables, and as you said this is the raw data, and after performing some operation, or this is data processing, some sort of data processing, after processing the data with these operators, how we can generate some meaningful information from it. So let's assume a very simple example. So we have already discussed this thing, but again I'm going to cover this thing. For example, you have a distance equal to 300 kilometers, and then you have the speed of your car, which is you are traveling with 60 kilometers per hour. Then you have to calculate the time required to reach there. So here, by performing a simple mathematical operation or arithmetic operation, you can calculate the time required to reach that destination. So this is how we can extract some meaningful information or desired information after doing some basic calculations, okay, or performing some arithmetic operations on the data. So initially we started with the basic syntax of Python, understanding the grammar of Python language. Then we started understanding the different variables, how we can define some variables. Now the variables are going to store data. After that we have discussed about the data types, the types of that information. So variables are going to store some data. That means they are going to store some information, and we have discussed the type of information using data types. After that, we are talking about operations, performing operations on the data. And after performing some operation, we can extract some meaningful information from that data, and that information can be further used for making some decisions in programming. So here, if I save this program by a certain name, so here I'm not going to give a specific name, any name you can give. So I just give xyz.py, and then I'm going to run this module. So after running, I'm getting 5 hours. So this is the time required to reach the destination, 5 hours. Okay, so this is how we can extract some meaningful information from the data. Okay, so let it be. Now we are going to discuss the next group of operators, that is nothing but the assignment operators. So here we can check it out. These are some assignment operators. So very basic operator is equals to. This is assignment operator. Equals to. This is assignment operator. That means something is assigned in some variable. So some variable is assigned with some value. So here x is assigned to 5, which is nothing but x equal to 5 only. But there are some other assignment operators also, like plus equal to. So if I write x plus equal to 3, its meaning is x equals to x plus 3. If you are adding something to the same number, so in that case you can write like this. Similarly, the minus equals to is nothing but, if I write x minus equals to 3, that means x equals to x minus 3. If I write multiply equals to, that means x multiply equal to 3, that is similar to x equal to x multiplied by 3. So keep in mind, this x and this x is similar. That's why I can use a shorthand notation like this, and it's applicable to all the operators. Not only this, but in future we are going to discuss the logical operators, and this assignment operator is also applicable to that operator as well, or even sorry, not the logical operators, the bitwise operators. So the assignment operator is also applicable to that bitwise operator as well. So let us discuss this thing using Python shell. Okay, so if I write x equals to 5, that means the value of x is 5, and that you can cross verify using print x. So here you will get the 5. That means the 5 is assigned in this variable. Now, if I do like this, x plus equals to, okay, plus equals to 3. This means x equals to x plus 3. This is the meaning of this statement. That means, sorry, here I should write hash in order to make it common. So this will be the x is 5. Initially, as we know, the x is 5. Now the 3 is added to the 5. Now it is 5 plus 3, so it should be 8. So when I hit enter, the value of x should be 8. And here we go. If I print the value of x, so you will get it the 8. So something is added to that. Similarly, if I define x equals to 5 and then x multiply equals to 5. Now its meaning is x equals to x multiplied by 5. This is the basic meaning of this. So this is shortcut of writing this thing. So now here x is 5, so 5 into 5, so it should be 25, and when I'll print this result, so it has to be 25 only. Okay, so it is 25. So this is how the assignment operators can work. So you can use the shorthand notation for this assignment operators as well. So as a beginner, you can go with this kind of syntax, but once you will become a little bit master in programming in Python, then you can use such kind of syntax as well, because this is going to degrade the readability of your program. But as a good programmer or as an experienced programmer, you are going to use such kind of syntax or notations in your programming. But as a beginner, as you are just learning this thing, so I'll recommend you go with this kind of syntax initially, but after some time, after some experience, you will definitely use this kind of thing in your programming. Okay, so we'll discuss the next group of operators, which are comparison operators. Now, when I talked about the assignment of the arithmetic operator, the result of arithmetic operator was the numeric, or if the numbers were integer, then I used to get the integer result. If the numbers were floating, then I can get the floating kind of result. But when I talk about the comparison operators, its result is true or false, or boolean kind of result we get. For example, if I write these are some operators, and if I use these operators with some variables, then I'll be getting result in terms of true or false, yes or no kind of result, 1 or 0, irrespective of whether your numbers are integer or float. It doesn't matter here. Here it will only check whether the two things are equal, not equal, or greater than or less than. Okay, and that's why the result is only true and false. So here we have this equal to operator, that will check whether this x is equal to y or not. If x is equal to y, that means the result is true, otherwise the result will be false. This is not equal to operator, its result is true if x is not equal to y. This is greater than operator, its result is true if x is greater than y. This is less than operator, it is true if the x is less than y. This is greater than equals to, its result is true if x is greater than or equal to with this y. And this is less than equals to, its result is true if the x is less than equal to y, otherwise the result is false. So these are the operators which are used in programming, and particularly when we'll discuss the for loop, while loop, and decision control statements like if statement, there will have to use these kind of operators in order to make some decision. So these operators help us to make some decision based on certain condition, and basically they are going to form a condition, and the condition can be true or false. So here this is the condition which can be true or false inside the if or while loop. So that we'll discuss in future lectures. But right now we are going to test these operators on the Python shell. Okay. So for example, if I have two numbers, x equals to 5, and again I'm going to take y equals to 2, these two numbers. Now very first operator is x equals to y. Okay, so now this is going to compare this x with the y. Now this is not the assignment operator like this. So when I write like this, that means a single equal to, that means assign this value to this variable. But when I write like this, double equal to, that means compare this value with this with equality, for the equality. If they are equal, its result is true. If they are not equal, its result is false. So here we can check it is false as 5 is not equal to 2. But if I write like this, not equals to y, that means the x is not equal to y. If this is true, that means if x is not equal to y, that means the result will be true. So here we go, the result is true in this case because the 5 is not equal to 2. Now the next is greater than. So if x is greater than y, so 5 is greater than 2. This is what this statement is checking. So it is true that 5 is larger number than 2. So its result is true. Its result is true. But if I write x less than y, that means the 5 is less than 2, which is not the case. That's why the result is false in this case. Now again, x is greater than equals to y. Now here it will check whether this x is greater than y. If it is greater than y, clearly the result is true. If it is not greater, then it will also check for equality, whether x is equal to y. So if it is equal to y, then also the result is true. So here in this case, the x is greater than y, that's why the result is true. Now, in order to understand this is quite tricky, so let us understand this in more detail. For example, we have x equals to 5 and again y equals to 5 again. Okay, both the numbers are same. Clearly, if you write x greater than y, now this is false because the 5 is not greater than 5. So this is false. But if you write x greater than equals to y, now here in this case, the x is not greater than 5 or y, but the x is equal to y. The second thing is correct, that's why the result is true. Okay, in this case the result is true. So again, I'll define x equals to 5 and the y equals to 2, and the next operator that we'll discuss, x less than equals to y. Now here it is false because the 5 is not less than 2, and again it is not equal to 2. That's why the result is this thing. So this is how these operators are going to work. These are comparison operators. Sometimes they are called as relational operators. So now we'll discuss the next group of operators, and this is this kind of group, logical operators. Generally, the logical operators are used to group two different relational operators or any other expressions. So generally they are used to combine two different expressions, and collectively the condition or that expression is evaluated for the true or false. Again, the result of these operators will be true and false because they are the logical operators. Only arithmetic operators are going to generate result in terms of the integer or floating point numbers or even the complex numbers, but these relational operators or comparison operators and the logical operators are going to generate result in terms of true and false. So there are three kinds of operators which are in this group, in logical group. So and, or, and not, that will return true if both the statements are true. So that means, for example, if I write x is less than 5 and x is less than 10, in this case if x is less than 5 and again it should be less than 10, only then the result of this operator will be true. Here we are talking about either this thing should be true or this thing should be true. If one of the thing is true or one of the statement is true, the result is true. So here it can be this statement could be wrong and this could be a true. In this case also, this will the result of this operator will be true. So that means only one statement needs to be true in order to get true result from the OR operator. And the NOT operator is going to reverse the result. For example, if it will convert to false, and if expression is false, then it will convert to true. So let us understand this thing with the help of some example in Python shell. So for example, I have two different numbers. So x equals to 5 and y equals to 2. Now I am going to use the ANDing operator here. So let's say x is greater than 5 and y is less than 5. Okay, additionally you can put some brackets in order to understand it or make it more readable, so I'll make it here. So now, as you know, this is one relational operator, that is greater than, and this is another relational operator like less than. So you can evaluate this expression with the help of this comparison operator as well. So you can clearly say here, this is x is greater than 5. So x is not greater than 5 because x is equal to 5. That means this is false. But this statement, y is less than 5, so y is 2 and obviously it is less than 5, so this statement is true. So basically what is happening here, false and true. Okay, this kind of situation is there, false and this true. So in this case, the AND operator needs both the expressions or both the statements should be true, then only the result of this AND operator is true. If one of expression or one of statement is false, the result of this thing will be false. And here this statement is not true, so the result of this will be false. The AND needs this must be true and both the statements where the AND is combining, that must be true. Then only the result of this expression is true, otherwise the result is false. So whenever you hit enter, the result is false. But if I make the same thing with OR operator, let's say this is 5 or y is less than 5. Now what happens here? This is again false or true. So OR operator needs just a single expression true. Okay, so either this should be true or this should be true. So anyone can be fine for this OR operator, and OR operator doesn't need two statements to be true. So here in this case it will lead a result to be true. So this is what the OR operator can do. Even if I write x and y, okay, so x and y, so x is 5 and y is 2, so what will be the answer of this? So this is quite interesting. So I'm not putting any kind of condition or any kind of relational operator, I'm just writing x and y, and surprisingly the result is 2. Okay, so it's going to take this smallest number as a result. Okay, so generally you're not going to use this kind of thing in Python. Okay, you are not going to use this kind of syntax, but you are going to use this kind of syntax always. Or there can be multiple conditions, and even this is combining two different conditions. You may be adding this number of conditions inside the AND or OR. Now if I have to NOT operator, for example, NOT x greater than y. So before that I'll just print x greater than 5. What happens this thing? So it is false, okay, because the x is 5 and it is not greater than 5. But if I write not x greater than 5, so what is the result? Here it is true. Why? Because this condition is false. So initially whatever the statement is here, it is false, and now it is converted, or it is reversed by this NOT operator to true. So basically NOT operator is going to reverse the result. So the true statement can be converted to false and the false statement can be converted to true. So this is what this operator is going to do. So now we'll discuss the next group of operators. This is all about the logical operators. This is identity operator. So basically this is going to compare these two variables, whether these two variables are same or not. Now as far as the simple variable is concerned, like integer variables and the floating point numbers, they can be simply compared by using equal to operator and not equal to operator, the relational operators or comparison operator. But identity operator can also be used with some least and tuples in future that we can see. But this time again I'm going to discuss these two operators. So the first operator is that will check whether the x and y are same or not. Is not operator is going to check whether they are different. Okay, so let's do this with the help of some Python shell. For example, you have x equals to 5 and y equals to 2, and you want to check x is y. Again the result of this operator is again true or false, as it is identity operator, not the arithmetic operator. So it is false because the x is not y. But if I write x is not y, this means whether the x is not equal to y or they are not same. So this statement is true, so its result is true. So this is how this identity operator is going to check whether the two quantities which it is comparing, they are same or different. Okay, so it's very simple operator, and as these two numbers are quite integer and very small numbers, so it's okay. But in future we are going to use this identity operator on some least and tuple. They will understand how we can compare the two different things. Okay, so now we'll discuss the next group of operators. Now it is membership operator. Now this is going to check whether the particular small entity is present in the large entity or not. So this is how it's going to compare that thing. And not in is going to check whether any number is present in a larger array or not. So that we are going to check. So it will return true if a sequence with the specified value is not present in the object. Okay, so let's do this. So let's try this with the help of some example in Python shell. So if I have a sequence like z equals to, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is my sequence. Now what the sequence is all about, that we'll discuss in future lectures, but this time just understand this is just a array. Okay, just an array like thing. The z is a variable which stores the multiple values. So here x is a variable which stores only single value 5, but the z is capable of storing 5 different values at a time. So that's why it is sequence. Now if I want to check if the x is equals to 2, now I'll check x in z, whether x is present in z. Clearly this 2 is present in z, so it will return true or false. It's something like searching the number or entity in the particular sequence. So here it is true. But if x equals to, let's say, 6, and then I'm trying to do x in z, so here it is false if I am writing like this. Now secondly, if the x is equals to 2, and if I write x not in z, okay, so that means whether the x is not in z but it is there, so that's why this statement is false, so it will generate false result. So this is how the membership operator works, and there are only two operators, in and not in. So it's very much easy to read, and its operation is also similar as we extract meaning from this statement. Now we'll discuss the next group of operators, which is the final operators, bitwise operators. So there are lots of operators available here. The first one is bitwise AND, then OR, XOR, NOT. Okay, this is left shift operator and the right shift operator. These operator works on the binary data, not on the integer values. Again, its result is integer only. So finally, whatever result you are going to get, that will be integer only. But it performs the bitwise operations on the binary data. So firstly, you have to convert an integer number to binary, and then you perform some operations on it. And after performing those operators, you will find out the result and in binary, and again you have to convert that binary result into integer, and that will be your final answer with this bitwise operator. So this bitwise ANDing, ORing, XORing, NOT, left shift and right shift, these are some operators that we are going to discuss now. So with the help of Python shell, I am going to discuss these operators. Now, before actually, let's say I have two different numbers like 3 and 2. This thing I want to do. Okay. Now, if I do like this and I hit enter, so result is true. Okay. The result is this thing, this 2. Okay. So now, how this is calculated, how this result is calculated, that we have to check. Okay. Now, firstly, as this name says, they are bitwise operators, so they are going to operate on the bits. So I have to convert this thing in binary. So I'll take the help of this thing. I'll just delete this thing. So I have 3 and 2. Now initially I'll convert this 3 to binary. Now 3 to binary, 1 1, right? So this is 3 in binary. Then I have to convert 2 in binary. So this is 0 1 0, right? This is 2 in binary. Okay. Now what I'm going to perform, the ANDing. So there will be a ANDing operation. Now what will happen? Let's check. Now this is 1, or I'll start from this side, that is okay, no issues. 0 and 0, that is 0, as we know for the AND, both the things. This is 1 and both the things are 1. 1 and 0, so this is again 0. So that's why this is the binary value. And what is the integer equivalent to this number? Is 2. So 1 0 1 0 is nothing but 2 in integer. That's why here we are getting 2 as a result. But if I do 3 or 2, in this case you are getting 3 as a result. So let's check what is happening here. So let us try to understand with the help of this thing. If I do here ORing operator, OR. So in case of OR, you need to have just a single digit to be 1. So this is 0 or 0 is 0, and this is 1 or 1. This is 1 or 1 is again 1, and again this 1 or 0 is again 1. So if I convert this to integer, so 0, 1, 1 is nothing but 3. So that's why we are getting 3 as a result over here. So this is how the AND operator and OR operator works. Now let's check about the XOR operator. This is exclusive OR. In case of XOR operator, if both the things are same, then the result is 0. So here the result will be 0. Again, this is same, the result will be 0, and here they are dissimilar. So in that case, the result will be 1. So here as 0 exclusive or 0, it's 0. And then if 1 exclusive or 1, again it is 0, and both the things are same. And here they are dissimilar, 1, 0, so result is 1. So what is the integer equivalent or decimal equivalent of it? So it is 1. 0, 1, 1 means 1 in the decimal. Otherwise you can use some scientific calculator also to verify this thing. And the same thing we'll try here. 3 exclusive or 2, and here we go, the result is 1. So this is how this operator works. Now we'll discuss the left shift operator, how it's going to work. Now for example, if I write 3 left shifted by 1 by single digit. Now I have to convert this 3 to binary. So this is 0, 1, 1 shifted to left by 1 position. So if it is shifted to left by 1 position, what happens? This 1 will go at this position. So here it is 1. Now this one will occupy this one's position. So here it is 1. Now this position is vacant. Okay, this is vacant, and this vacant position will be filled by 0 after shifting to left by 1. Now what is the decimal equivalent to this number? So as it is 110, so its equivalent decimal number is 6. If you are not getting how to convert binary to decimal, you just use scientific calculator available in your laptop. Type there this binary number 110 and convert to the decimal. You will get this answer. Now let's check this thing on the Python shell. 3 left shifted by 1 or single digit. In that case we are getting 6. Similarly, if I write 6 right shifted by 1, that means I should get the reverse value, that must be 3, and here we go. So this is how the left shift and right shift operator are going to work. And here I am shifting by 1 position. You can shift by 2 positions also, and again you will be getting the same result from these operators. So this is how the left shift and right shift operators works in Python. So we have discussed all the operators in Python, right from the arithmetic operators to the bitwise operator. The basic use of operators is to perform operations on the data. In case of operator, this thing and this thing are called as operands. So here this 3 and 2 are operands. Even if you check this thing, very first thing, this A and B, these are operands, and this is operator which is going to perform operation on this data. By performing operation on data, we have understood that we'll extract the meaningful information from that raw data, and that information can be utilized to do some activity or do some task or even to make some decisions. We have understood that with the help of some example, like we have taken distance and the speed as 2 different variables or 2 different raw data, and we have performed some operation on that using the division operator, and we extracted the time required to reach a particular destination using that raw data. So this is the importance of using the different operators in Python and performing some operation on data. After performing, we'll be getting the meaningful information or the desired information from that data. With the help of these operators, you can actually calculate many things. For example, you can calculate the area of circle, or you can calculate the water, the amount of water that can be stored in a tank by calculating the volume of tank. You can even calculate the area of agriculture land using these operators and using some mathematical expression. So that is not the big deal that you can use some mathematical operations and calculating some result. So that also we are going to discuss. So we'll discuss some examples based on these operators based on some arithmetic operators in future in upcoming session. So in the next session we'll discuss how I can use these operators to calculate some meaningful information from the raw data, like calculating the number of tiles required in a particular floor, or if I know the area of tile and all those things. So using some mathematical operations and some mathematical expressions. So stay connected with me, and thanks for watching.